You're listening to Holy Lives, Inspiring Stories. This podcast is brought to you by Paulines Multimedia. Discover the saints. Be inspired to live like one. Welcome to Holy Lives, Inspiring Stories. Today we're talking about a woman whose life was one long song of faith, even when no one could hear it. Saint Cecilia, the patron saint of music and musicians.
A song of faith that no one could hear. That's such a beautiful image. Her story isn't just about music, it's about faith that keeps singing, even in silence.
Yes, I've always loved that title, patron of music. But what's fascinating is she wasn't known for actually playing an instrument, was she?
That's the surprising part. The saint of music, remembered not for sound, but for her silence. I wonder what music she was really hearing inside.
Exactly. That's part of the mystery. How did a Roman virgin martyr end up as the symbol of choirs, orchestras, and organs? Her story begins much earlier and much deeper.
So, who was she really?
Cecilia was born into a noble Roman family sometime in the 2nd or 3rd century. She was beautiful, well-educated, and secretly Christian at a time when that was dangerous. Even as a young woman, she had already made a vow to dedicate her life completely to God.
That must have taken such quiet courage, holding on to her faith when she had to hide it from everyone around her. Even that feels like the first note of her inner song.
Exactly. And her family didn't know. They arranged her marriage to a pagan nobleman named Valerian. During the wedding celebration, while musicians played, the old texts say Cecilia sang in her heart to the Lord.
That's beautiful. While everyone else heard earthly music, she was hearing something divine.
Exactly. Her own inner song of faith. That one phrase became the key to everything that followed.
So, what happened next? Did Valerian know about her vow?
Not at first, but on their wedding night, Cecilia told him, gently, courageously, that she had given her heart to Christ and that an angel guarded her. She said he could see this angel too, if he would believe.
Wait, he really sought it?
Yes. Valerian went to Pope Urban, received baptism, and when he returned, he saw the angel beside her, placing 2 crowns of roses and lilies on their heads.
2 crowns of roses and lilies. It's amazing how her quiet faith could inspire others. Not just her husband, but his brother too. The power of living faithfully, even in silence.
Yes, both brothers were converted. Together they began secretly burying Christians who had been martyred. Eventually, that act of mercy led to their own deaths.
So what happened with Cecilia?
She stayed behind for a while, giving away her wealth and caring for the poor, until she too was arrested. The Roman prefect, Almachius, demanded that she renounce Christ. Instead, she told him, "You have the power to kill me, but not the power to give life."
That's impressive. Her calm conviction, even facing death, is the kind of courage that stays with you.
They tried to suffocate her in a steam bath, but she survived unharmed. Then the executioner struck her with a sword 3 times, but couldn't sever her head. She lived 3 more days, praying and preaching. And before dying, she asked that her home be turned into a church.
Even after everything, she kept caring for others. Her faith radiated outward, touching everyone around her, and her home became a place of worship.
Exactly. That's the Basilica of Saint Cecilia in Trastevere, built over what was once her house. A place that still feels like it hums with prayer. Centuries later, in 1599, her body was found incorrupt, perfectly preserved, lying as if asleep. The sculptor Stefano Maderno was asked to carve what he saw, and that statue still rests beneath the basilica altar.
I love that sculpture. Her hands are so expressive, one showing 3 fingers, the other 1.
A silent creed. 3 persons, 1 God. Even in death, she was professing her faith. No words, no song, just a gesture that spoke eternity.
But here's what I've always wondered. How did this silent martyr become the patron of music?
It's actually a fascinating twist of language. The old Latin texts said cantantibus organis, meaning while the instruments played. Some historians think it was originally condentibus organis, meaning burning instruments, referring to the tools of torture.
So a mistranslation turned the instruments of pain into instruments of praise?
Exactly. And from that small mistake, her image changed from a martyr of silence to a musician of heaven. By the Renaissance, she was shown surrounded by organs, harps, and choirs.
It's interesting. What was once suffering became something beautiful. Her life really shows how quiet faith can ripple outward in unexpected ways.
And musicians everywhere claimed her as their patron, especially in England, where the grand St. Cecilia's Day celebrations began in 1683.
Wow, that's incredible. Her influence stretched so far and lasted so long.
Composers like Handel and poets like John Dryden joined in. Dryden even imagined music as the force that brings order to the universe and ends the world in harmony. Music shall untune the sky.
It's amazing to think her inner song inspired music and poetry across centuries. That quiet faith became something the world could hear.
Centuries later, Benjamin Britten, born on her feast day, wrote his hymn to St. Cecilia.
That was during World War II, right? I read that when soldiers seized his music, thinking it was secret code, he rewrote it from memory on the ship home.
Exactly.
It's fitting, rewriting music from memory while surrounded by chaos. It mirrors what Cecilia did, keeping the song alive no matter what tried to silence it.
That's the heart of her story. Cecilia didn't make music with her hands. She made it with her heart.
Yes, she reminds us that faith itself has a rhythm, a melody that can survive silence, fire, even death.
Maybe holiness isn't about the sound we make, but about the song we keep singing inside, even when no one hears it.
And that's the question she leaves us with. What song is God asking us to keep alive in our hearts?
Whatever it is, may we learn, like Cecilia, to turn even our quietest prayers into a song of love.
You know, that really ties into what Holy Lives is all about.
It does. Their stories remind us that the saints weren't distant heroes. They were real people whose faith, struggles, and courage can still teach us how to live today. Through them, we see what love sounds like when it's lived, not just spoken.
And Saint Cecilia shows that so beautifully, that even a quiet life offered in faith can become a song that never ends.
Yes, her story invites us to do the same, to live with that same harmony of love, courage, and praise.
Because when our hearts keep singing for God, even in silence, the world can still hear the music of faith.
Wow, beautifully said.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us today on Holy Lives, Inspiring Stories.
Discover the saints.
Be inspired to live like one.